Welcome to Licking Non-Vanilla, a sex-positive hour of talk about kink, sexual mores, and writing dirty words. So grab a cup of cocoa, your favorite easy chair, and the lube as we go sailing into the dark, sweet waters of all things naughty on Licking Non-Vanilla with your hosts Ralph Greco Jr. and M. Christian.
So hello everybody, welcome to Licking Non-Vanilla, your portal, your entree, your lubed space for all things naughty and provocative and we hope entertaining. My name is Ralph Greco Jr. as it usually is. And across the world, well, not the world, but a couple steps away from me is my co-host, M. Christian. Hello, Chris. How you doing?
Good. How are you doing, Ralph?
I'm good. Now, we call him, you call him, well, his friends call him Chris, so everybody out there has to call him M. Christian. And that's just the way it is. Or sir or master, whatever you want. Now, today.
Or you, or get off my lawn, or.
Right.
You know.
Now, today we are lucky to
put your damn clothes on.
Do something. Now, we are lucky today to be, to have a guest on. From the Great White North, maybe I guess we could call it that. This is we're talking to Greta Grindhouse. Hello, Greta. How are you?
Hello, great. Thanks so much.
It's so sweet to have you on, and we were suffering through a couple technical difficulties there. So we appreciate your patience, Greta. Sometimes that's enough to get people to bounce off, you know. Now, Greta, you're relatively new to the adult industry. That's true, right?
Just in this last year, yes.
Okay, so what's a great pretty girl like you getting into the industry at this time for? How did that even happen?
Well, I was in a pretty bad relationship for the past 10 years.
Okay.
And I've been thinking about leaving for a long time, and I used to watch cam girls as like my porn.
Right.
And I always thought that looks so great. That looks amazing to do. That looks like lots of fun. And if I ever leave my ex, I'll go do that. And I came up with this whole escape plan of leaving and pawning all my stuff so I could buy a computer and a setup, and I was going to go and cam from an RV or something. But in February, I did leave my bad relationship, and pretty much right after that, COVID hit, and it gave me lots of free time to follow my dream of becoming a cam girl. And I bought a computer on Amazon and set up a little cam room in my friend's basement. She was kind enough to let me stay there for free, and she actually we had a DIY day of making like studio lights. So she found this sort of this thing online of how to make lights out of cardboard and parchment paper. So we spent the day making lights and did some photo shoots and set up our Chatterbait pages, and then I just sort of progressed from there. I really hit the ground running after I broke up with my ex, which is what I wanted.
That's a great like survival story, right, Chris? Like, you know, things are bad maybe for a while, and you're trying to extricate yourself, and you do, and look, you start a cottage industry, you know.
Exactly. It's like you take lemons and make lemonade.
Right. And I mean, and you know, what's happened recently. I mean, working from home, no matter what kind of work you do, is good. Is better to do. You know, helps out a little bit. You know?
Yes.
Well,
I ended up being laid off from my straight job, so I mean, I was like, this is the perfect time to do what I wanted and do it every single day and really make a good go of it. So
right.
Kind of good timing for me, actually.
No kidding. I mean, Chris and I, you know, we work from home because we're writers, and you know, I know with the advent of COVID, you know, a lot of people are having a difficult time. But Chris and we're having no problem. I mean, well, there's other pitfalls to all this, but from the work viewpoint, Chris, it's not that difficult for us, right?
Well, not really. I mean, it's just that's one of the benefits. I mean, not to say, oh, well, everyone else is having it hard, we're having it easy. But, being a freelance writer, it's not really that much of a change.
Right.
You still work from home. You still bash your brains in against getting assignments and keeping them and meeting deadlines and that kind of stuff. But, yeah, it's been rough in other ways. But that's one of the things that hasn't been.
Now, Greta, you happen to be of a specific body type that Chris and I very much like. Right, Chris? You've seen the pictures,
great.
right? Chris, you've seen her pictures, right? I've sent you the pictures.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
You would say Greta falls into the what we like category, right?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, we're very much into curves. So how would you describe yourself as far as your physicality and also your your state of mind? So if somebody is interested in finding you and they say, oh, I'm looking for this kind of woman or this kind of woman, are you super kinky? Are you super flirty? Are you super, give us kind of a rundown of who you are and what you provide on the cam.
Yeah, I guess I'm still trying to figure out who I am sexually too, because of, being in a sort of a repressed relationship where we barely even had sex for 10 years.
Right.
I'm sort of like refinding myself again. But I thought about in the beginning, like maybe I'll make up a whole new persona and I'll be this different person. And so no one will know who I am. And then I thought that's probably not for the best. Like I have a very nice, bubbly, kind personality, and I'm used to performing on stage, and people like me, so they should like me for real when I'm naked too. So I just try and be myself, but yet like a hyper-sexualized version of myself, and it just gives me the opportunity to act like this sort of sex-crazed sex pot on cam that I don't get to. I guess in daily life, although now I don't see anyone in daily life anymore.
Right, well, none of us are.
Yeah. So I honestly just try and be myself, but really friendly. And I'm quite shy and introverted on a daily basis with most people. So something about, I don't know, being on camera just allows me to be that, not shy person.
Right.
So, yeah.
I'm just thinking, Chris. She is a newbie, but you're not a. I don't know how to say this because you said it yourself in your bio. You're not an early 20s lady. Like you're
Yes.
so you're a newbie in the business, but you're a lady. I don't know how to say it.
I'll help you out.
Please.
I'm 37.
Oh, there you go. Okay, so Chris, that's interesting to me. She's starting out at 37. And I'm saying
that's
she's
very
like
old,
you're not.
I'm sure, for this industry.
Yeah, right. Don't you? That's interesting, right, Chris? I mean, do we see that often?
Well, I think it's wonderful with with the advent of so many people doing cam shows and such.
Yeah.
It's like it gives more people empowerment to do whatever they want to do, no matter who and what they are in regards to age, size, gender, and everything else.
Right.
And that's also a chance for people who have had that interest but hasn't have it represented. I mean, you talked about the fact that, you're a BBW. I still remember back when I was first getting into adult materials, quote unquote, how much of a pain in the ass it was. There was only one body type that you ever saw, and that was it. And, I had to go to places like Von Baudet, who actually, frankly, kind of made me a BBW fan, because they simply weren't there. Now it's like, there's such a sense of empowerment, that, one, for people who are performing, and two, for fans.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's the space is replete with a whole bunch of different great stuff to find, no matter your size, your age, or whatever, And I mean,
I think that probably holds a lot of people back from starting because they still feel like people want that sort of typical look. But I guarantee you, people want to see you naked.
Yeah, no, and I agree. I mean, Chris and I I give a penchant for a certain body type, and I would say your body type is definitely the body type, And
I've come to realize that a lot of people feel that way, and that's great for me.
And it's not only that. I mean, Chris and I I could speak for Chris a little bit. We run the gambit on what we like. I don't think we have a type, do we, Chris? Specifically, we just kind of like whoever we're attracted to, right? I mean,
exactly. I mean, I lean a little bit more towards the curvy side.
Me
but
too.
That
Me too.
It's not like an exclusive fetish. It really depends on the person.
Yeah. So, Greta, with the audience that's coming to you, do you find these are like 50% BBW people who are just into BBW, or do you find you're just getting everybody across the board that people are just searching in general and they're just liking, connecting in general to whoever they connect with? It has nothing to do with specificity, or what do you think?
It's kind of hard to say because I mean the people who are there for BBW definitely tell me that I like your body, I like this about you, you're my dream, whatever. But I mean, I imagine people. I mean, I'm not to toot my own horn, but also I will. I have a very pretty face, and
you do have a very pretty
I have a nice
absolutely.
smile, and
absolutely.
And I try and set myself apart a little bit by just sort of like my retro look and stuff. So I'm hoping I'm just capturing, anyone who's like, oh, this person looks pretty and cute. But definitely, yes, I have a lot of BBW fans for sure.
Yeah, because it's funny, Chris. When I sent you her bio stuff, Greta was mentioning the '70s aesthetic in porn. Something that we know well. I mean, because we're older guys. So, Greta, explain that a little bit in your mind, because you're not old enough to remember that stuff, to have gone through it when in the first round, the '70s porn stuff, the vintage porn stuff. You're
I guess.
Yeah, but I mean, what attracts you there? Like, what's the pull there for you?
Well, I've always liked vintage quite a bit, like since my early 20s. And I guess I kind of go through phases of like aesthetics that I like, where, in my early 20s, I liked the 50s, and I've kind of moved up from 60s to 70s.
Yeah, right. I got you.
I should send you pictures of my apartment. Or no, you've probably seen on some of my videos. You can see what my apartment looks like. I've got like the faux fireplace and a big old box
and lava lamps.
And red velvet couches.
Yeah, that's funny. No, I mean, because there is a certain vibe to a certain era of porn. I mean, beyond big bushes and stuff, but you know what I'm saying? There's a certain feel to it, and I think, Chris, you would say, I mean, Chris, I mean, you're my age, so we were kids still in the '70s, but we were aware of that stuff, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm right there with you, Greta. I prefer what they now call vintage, because it was the age before plastic surgery, or at least not a lot of it, and before silicone. So people looked much more like human beings and not the androids that most porn people seem to look like these days.
Yeah.
And
lots of normal faces, normal bodies. Yes.
Exactly. And very often, especially in a certain subgenre, these were just, hippies, earning a little cash and, kind of fooling around. And I always kind of found that a little endearing. It's like the early ancestry of amateur porn. But, I completely love it. Also, they were very stylish, too.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with all of that, because, I mean, people seem to love Pornhub, I think, because it is sort of just amateurs. It feels more real, and I think a lot of the 70s porn, as cheesy as it may seem, it's very, like, real, and I know I love that aesthetic, and I would just absolutely love to make a porno where you can't even tell what decade. Is this new or is this from the 70s? I want to have like maybe a star swipe in between each scene, like
that's
good
cool.
funky funk music. Like I want a gritty film look to it. I want all of it. It would be my dream to have like
very cool.
mulleted pizza boy come to the door or something.
Here's special delivery. Yeah, that's good.
Unfortunately, I'm vegan, so I can't do the whole this is sausage pizza bit. But
well, you can just
work something in there.
Take sausage in a different way. That's all.
Yeah, so I don't eat meat sausage, but I eat man.
There
sausage.
we go.
We'll workshop it. We'll do something.
So speaking of that makes me feel, what are you not gonna do on cam, or what won't you do on cam? Have you had requests for something you're like, no? Definitely.
Okay. Usually, I have had people come into the room and immediately get into the like, oh yeah, you fat fucking pig slut, like turn that ginger pussy around. And I don't mind being called fat. It's just I mean, I'm also tall, I've red hair, like, I'm not insulted by that. But the calling me a stupid fucking
I got you.
I'm not really into
like degradation.
And I mean,
right, it's going into play it goes left, in other words.
Yeah, and I mean, no shame. It's just not for me.
I got you.
There's a weird fine line for me, and anything over you fucking whore makes me feel not good.
Okay. Well, like we say this all the time, Chris. Everybody has their own places, right? Their own limitations, right?
Absolutely. And that's the one thing. It's like we've talked about this before, Ralphie. The good news is the internet is a place to express themselves. The bad news is that the internet's a place where people can express themselves.
Right.
So you're going to get a lot of complete. Now, there's a technical term for it. What is it? I keep forgetting. Asshole.
There it is.
And then there's going to be the good people. And it's unfortunately that sometimes the internet just makes bad people 10 times worse, which I just, it keeps me off a lot of social media, frankly.
It's weird, though, because I would think, like, if I found you, Greta, I'm find you because I have an interest in your look. I like it. It seems kind of like counterintuitive to me to find a cam girl, pay to be in there, and want to insult her. Like, that's how I'm getting off. For me, if I find the cam girl I like and I go there, I want to engage with her and have a good time with her. I don't want to put her off. But I guess some people, for them, that's what I want to find a girl that I can insult, to degrade. Maybe that's your deal. But you just don't have to be around for that.
I've had both sides of the spectrum. Like, people will come into the room and say, "Hello, goddess," and so immediately I'm this, goddess, dominatrix, whatever. Yeah. And then other people will come in and they want me to be a dirty little whore. So. Right. I always wonder, like, what do you see when you look at me? Do I look like a dominatrix? Do I look, because in real life, I would say that I'm a switch, so I don't mind doing both sides. But, there's definitely lots of places I'm not willing to go. Like, I've had people ask me to do, like, racial domination and say lots of, like, slurs and stuff to them, and I definitely will not do that.
Right.
And I don't want to do any rape fantasies for sure. I will definitely. Okay. I mean, I like a consensual. I mean, I enjoy being submissive quite a bit. I like being told what to do, but where it's like full on rape fantasy is definitely where I would draw the line for myself.
Right. And do you ever perform with anybody else on your cam?
My girlfriend has come on cam with me once before.
Okay.
And it's not really her cup of tea, but bless her for coming on with me. It was lots of fun for me.
It's good to have
she
friends,
got me
Chris.
really drunk off of champagne.
Well, right, Chris. It's always nice to have friends that that give it a whirl.
Exactly. That's what friends are for, to give someone a shot.
That's right. The least
If it works, it doesn't work.
That's right. Well,
she's more than just friends. She's my real life girlfriend.
Oh, well, there you go. That works too.
Tried to support me. It was very nice.
That's nice.
Wonderful. That's wonderful.
Hey, let me just give a shout out.
She doesn't want to do it.
Oh, well, let me just give a shout out to what you're listening to. This is Licking Non-Vanilla, and I am Ralph Greco Jr., and my co-host is M. Christian, and we're talking to Greta Grindhouse. Now, Greta, before we go any further, let's give a little shout where people can find you if they want to find you. So tell our listeners, because I'm going to write, after we do a podcast, I always write up a blog about what we did and who we spoke to, and I'll put your pictures up and all that, and I'll get all your links in there too. But let's do it right now. Let's tell people where they can find you. So right from your pretty little mouth. Tell people where they can find you.
Great. Well, as I said, I am on Chatterbait, but I haven't been on there as much lately because I've been concentrating on making my own content.
Right.
But Chatterbait, I'm Greta Grindhouse, and you can find my videos on Pornhub, and it's a couples account, and it's called Greta Grinds Hard, or if you just look up Greta Grindhouse, you can see my videos. I'm also on OnlyFans, which is a brand new thing I'm trying out.
Yeah, a lot of girls are on that. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah.
Yes. I'm going to make a go out of it. So posted a picture last night. I'm very proud of.
Good.
So please go find me on OnlyFans. And on Twitter, follow me on Twitter as well at Greta Grindhouse. And you can find some other videos of me on xlgirls.com and plumperpass.com. I have some debut videos and a brand new boy-girl video on XL Girls.
Well, Plumper Pass, we're fully aware of, aren't we, Chris?
Oh yeah.
No, but that only right, but only from research, Chris. It has nothing to do with anything else.
Just research.
Purely for research purposes. That's true.
Exactly. Yeah. That's the thing about being like a porn writer. You do lots of research.
Lots of research. Right. We could write it off.
Good.
Yeah.
You do important work.
That's what we try. We really try. So let's talk a little bit about advocacy. How are you finding that? Because you're new and you're a little older. What's the advocacy now for the adult space that you're finding? What are you finding the good and the bad of things that you're running up against?
Well, what I've come to realize that, which is kind of scary, I keep getting scam offers, and I find that if I were to be let's say I was doing this when I was 18, I'm thinking, how would I have responded to the scam? And I probably would have believed it and might have gotten myself into a lot of trouble. Okay. So, I just tweeted yesterday a scam that came into my mailbox that really likes people I've tried to research how to get started in the adult industry, do's and don'ts, possible scams. And I'm not finding a lot of information. If anyone has any, please tweet at me. I'd love to hear about blogs or articles or anything on how to stay safe. Because there's a lot of scary people out there trying to take advantage of you.
Oh, yeah.
So just keeping my ears open, and if something, if it quacks like a duck, and what's the saying? It's probably a duck.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, I would just really love everyone to stay safe, and just if something is, let other girls know if something bad is going on, and people are wasting your time and, saying mean things to you, out them so they can be blacklisted. So people, they don't deserve you. They don't deserve your time and your effort that you're putting in. So, yeah.
So Chris, I mean, what Greta's talking about here is a good point, because Greta happens to, Greta, you're not 18, so it's not the first time at the rodeo. Well, this particular rodeo, but you've been around and you've lived life a little bit to have a little bit more savvy. But an 18-year-old, 19-year-old person doesn't, and they can really get taken advantage of. Yeah.
Exactly.
And I've been very some of them are very, very smooth to the point where I was like, wait, is this a scam? Even me with my mature age, I still was a little bit unsure, because they're very, very slick. So yeah.
So Chris, what do you think? What's the red flags that come up for you? I mean, we stand back from the business because we write for the business. We'll be getting taken a couple times, but what Greta's talking about. Now as opposed to back then, is there a same sensibility that you find for the people who are creepers?
Oh yeah, there's the thing. It's there's so many ways they can get you. There's all kinds of cam sites that are now competing with OnlyFans that I'm not saying that they're necessarily criminal, but sometimes, there's, benefits and drawbacks to every one of them. And sometimes there's misrepresentation. And then there's also just generalized creeps and con people.
Yeah.
And then there's the ones who may not intentionally come off as creeps and scam people, but they're just over enthusiastic and don't know what they're doing. So they might promise the moon and not have any way of actually delivering it. And, you see it all the time. We don't get it as much as someone like yourself, Greta, but we definitely get it. I get emails on Twitter all the time saying, hey, review my sex toy. It's I'm not doing it for free. It's horrendous. It's come on. It's nice you want to send me your throbbing 8-inch plastic whatever, but, it's I'm not going to do it for free, dudes.
Greta, by the way, he was just talking about me when that last description.
Well, it's based on you, Ralph.
Right.
So,
throbbing. Yeah, okay. So, Greta, how often do you get on cam now? How often has it happen for you?
I haven't been on in over a month, to be honest.
Okay.
It's sort of my New Year's resolution to get back on more often, but it can be very mentally taxing, to be honest. I mean, I enjoy talking to people, but it's a hard hustle, and it can be definitely discouraging at times.
Mm-hmm.
And not knowing if you're going to get money from being on cam for 3 hours and make no money or make a lot of money. And just been concentrating on making content and selling it.
Right.
But I do miss the interaction with my fans because they're so lovely and nice and sweet. And I always feel just, my heart is full after I get off cam. So,
well, what could be better than that? You do a job where you're interacting with people and you feel great about it afterwards. Like how could, what could be better than that?
And I get to have orgasms at the same time. I mean, this is a dream job.
You're not doing that. You're not usually doing that when you're pulling coffee or making a nice sundae for somebody. So that is the fun thing about that job. When the COVID lifts, which it would eventually will, and we're all going to get back to whatever we're going to get back to, however we get back to it. And Chris and I have been talking about this. Like, is it going to be a bacchanal out there? People go crazy, or caution, but when that finally lifts and we get back to, Chris and I get back to doing, like, we teach at the kink conventions, and there's, and then exoticas and all that stuff amps up again. Are you feel like you're going to make the rounds and do that kind of stuff and go out? And is that something you're looking forward to?
Oh, definitely. I really want to, I've already had offers to travel to go film porn in Miami. So, as soon as that's safe to do so, I am there.
Right.
And I definitely want to establish myself as an actress. And I want to go do all the conventions and the get-togethers and meet people in person. There was just, the XBiz had their convention online this past couple of days, and I kind of dropped in and listened to some speakers. But I want to go and hug people and meet them in person. And introduce myself. So
I mean, we're chopped at the bit. Chris and I say this all the time. We do these conventions mainly to hang out together. Because we have a good time, but we don't see each other that much because Chris lives on the West Coast, I live on the East Coast, so that's what we do, right, Chris? We love that situation.
Absolutely, it's always a highlight. I mean, we like doing the events. Don't get me wrong, man. It's like we always love that, but it's really, frankly, an excuse for us to get together. I mean, it's just it's unusual. If it's great, it's like it's someplace like Vegas or St. Louis or something.
Yeah,
like
it's
that.
fun. So, Greta, is there something? No, go ahead. I was going to ask you another question. Well, you go first.
I'm still learning about what conventions and stuff are out there. Because I mean, I've obviously had no opportunity, but I come from, like, I do burlesque, or I did burlesque before. So I've, been to all of the festivals and stuff like that. And I'm curious to see how a more adult festival / convention is going to be. So I'm excited to just basically be at festivals and conventions all of the time when it's safe to do so, whether it be burlesque or sex work. So,
I was thinking of burlesque, Chris, when I was looking at her pictures. Perfect, burlesque kind of performer. So
I do that as well.
I was thinking. So, Greta, is there a difference in what you would do on cam and what you would do in a movie?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, because I'm still figuring both out. I mean, I just want to definitely do more porn where there's other people and it's not just myself.
No, well, of course, that makes sense, right? That would be the big difference, right? That is the major difference between the two mediums.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay.
And I find when I am making content with a partner, it is different for me. Like, I'm still like, I laugh, I joke and try and be cute and funny and stuff. But when there's someone else there, it's definitely a lot more animalistic, I suppose.
That makes sense.
That's what I can think of.
Right.
Yeah. So
that makes sense.
definitely different, but I'm still the same person.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. So, Chris, we got any more questions for Greta here? I'm just fascinated. I could go on all day.
No, me too. I'm like, all I can do to keep from like gushing like a fanboy here.
Yeah, right.
So so happy to be on the show, and it's like I'm definitely going to start, after we hang up here, go and examine in detail.
But just for research, Chris. We have to do the research.
You got to stay informed. Exactly. It's like this kind of erotic stuff doesn't write itself, and you got to do all the research.
You got to do the research. You got to, because you don't want to feel like we've had this discussion now with Greta. And you don't want to feel like, well, I don't know any more things about her. I want to research. That's the least you could do.
Oh,
that's what we call.
Well, that being said, I should also mention that I'm a painter as well, and I am pretty much exclusively inspired by naked actresses from the 70s.
That's interesting.
You can see some of my work on Twitter. I've painted that nice big 70s bush before.
Mm-hmm.
I have a self-portrait of mine that I painted to look like a black velvet picture, and I'm selling prints. And I actually just finished a commission for Clint at Plumtastic. He paid me to paint a picture of Bunny de la Cruz on black velvet. I'm very excited
very cool.
to show what that looks like.
Very cool.
But yeah, if you want any cheesy 70s artwork, you can hit me up.
Oh, that's cool too.
That's excellent. You should put those on Etsy, because Etsy has a couple of like erotic artists and such, and might be a couple of
we get away with that. Why not?
Yeah, they're
great idea.
Erotic content to a certain degree, but it's like it might be thought.
Greta, let me
perfect.
Yeah, definitely. Greta, what did you take? The picture I'm looking at, Chris, and it cracks me up, is the one from underneath your boobs. When you're looking over the top of your boobs, your eyes are kind of open wide. You know the one that you sent me? That's a great picture. Like, did you take that picture, or somebody else take that picture of you?
I took that picture. I think it was after a cam show. It's just
it's a fantastic. It's a great selfie. I'll put it up on the blog for people to see. It's really fantastic. It's just, she looks like.
I was hoping you'd like that.
It cracks me up. I mean, I like the other ones, but that one cracks me up because her eyes are pinned open, and you're looking over the shelf here. It's a great picture.
The shelf.
The shelf. Yeah, I'm talking like, well, they got to be double something, whatever they are, right? I'm assuming. I don't play a doctor on television, Chris. I am one in real life. But wow, great picture, Greta. By the way, that one cracks me up. That's going to go up on the blog.
Definitely shows my assets.
Assets, yes, she says, yes. So Greta, here's what we're going to do. This show that we're putting together now, is probably about 2 weeks away from being put up. Once we get it to our producer and everything. So I'll let you know that, of course. And in the meantime, I'll blog the hell out of it. And then if something new happens between now and then, you put up a bunch of new content and stuff, you let us know directly, and we'll put it up too. We'll let people know, But
great, thanks so much.
But Greta, this has been wonderful, Greta. Thank you so much for your time. And
so much fun.
We Chris and I love it. Chris and I like talking to girls because we like girls because they're squishy and warm in good places. And
yes.
But it's been wonderful. You are all that in a bag of chips. Let me tell you, you were just
I'm blushing.
So cute. So and you could say in this day and age. Can you still say a girl is cute? Can you say that? Is that okay to say?
That she's cute?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
That's right. There's nothing wrong with that, right?
Well, you're definitely cute.
You're definitely cute, Greta. You're adorable, honey. And thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful. Chris and I are going to stay on now for another 20 minutes to finish out the show and just gush about you, if you don't mind. With you out of earshot, so we don't make you blush too much.
Great. Well, thank you so much. It's honestly like a pleasure speaking with you guys.
It was wonderful for us.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. That was Greta Grindhouse, everybody. Thank you very much, Greta.
Yes, thank you very much.
Bye. Take care.
Bye-bye. Chris, you stay on with me.
Absolutely. I'm here.
Okay. That was Greta. Was she wonderful or what?
She was absolutely wonderful.
Yeah,
it's always a delight to have someone like her on the show, because everybody's always been fantastic.
We've been lucky, Chris. We've been very lucky here on, by the way, it's Licking Non-Vanilla that you're listening to. But we've been very lucky. It's just that there are some people that their personality just comes through. You know, whether it comes through in a picture, and it definitely comes through in her pictures, or when you get them on the blower, as they say, and it's a whole different kind of thing. You know, there's just some sort of I don't know, attitude or style, I guess it is. You know, I don't know exactly what it is, but there's just some people that come across exactly the way they they portray themselves. You know, she's bubbly and kind of got a kind of 70s sensibility to her, a little kitschiness, you know, and all that kind of stuff, and that's just the way it comes across, and that's exactly the way she comes across. So
exactly. I mean, that's the thing. It's like, you know, you can either approach this with kind of like a little bit of a, well, for lack of a better word, attitude, or you can be a human being talking to human beings and enjoy yourself as much as possible. And I think that's something that she really, you know, kind of exudes and is really a pleasure because of that.
Yeah, she's just absolutely like just beguiling and adorable, you know, and it comes across. And I mean, and you know, again, you know, the way someone looks is a matter of taste, if you like that or not. I mean, nobody can say that's right or wrong. You and I happen to have very like-minded sensibilities in that way.
Exactly.
And Greta is a lady who fits the bill there, but physically. But when you get on the phone, you start talking to her. Wow, that just lights up 100%. You know.
Oh, absolutely,
You know,
absolutely.
and we didn't, you know, we don't know. I mean, you know, people that listen to the show, I don't know if they're aware of it. I'm sure they are. You know, we do some preliminary contact. We either go through Twitter or, you know, back and forth through email and stuff. And we've been very, very lucky in that regard. But I didn't know Greta until we talked to her today. We had a couple of emails,
me too.
but we didn't know her.
No.
So we, you know, like, yeah, we've been very lucky in that regard.
And that's the thing. It's like, you know, it's so hard to do that. And I don't want to, you know, diminish, you know, who she is and what she's done, but it's like there's so many people up there. So it's like connecting up with her is really an extra treat.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're just thankful when this happens, when we connect with people. We've been incredibly lucky, you know, but there are some people we've spoken to that we had a relationship with beforehand. We know they're wonderful people. They're friends of ours, you know, and we expected nothing but the best. But then when you talk to somebody you've never talked to, and this has happened a couple times for us now, we talk to somebody we never spoke to, and we're like, these people are wonderful. We've been so lucky across the board, really, you know. Now there's a little bit of business to deal with here, and it's nothing bad. Our producer goes around the globe looking for, you know, connections for us. And if you listen to the show, there's a bumper on the show from another show. So in other words, we do these things where we do a little share. We did that with Lori, Dr. Lori, a little bit of advertising, you know, on our show and vice versa. And we're also
another person so wonderful.
Oh, another great person, and another person we didn't know until we talked to her. So there is a podcast, and the name of this podcast is "In the Sack with Seth and Sarah." So it's hard to say altogether. In the Sack with Seth and Sarah. And so we're doing a thing where they run our bumper, our little advertisement, and we run theirs. And I have been remiss to say them on the show during one of our recordings here. So I just wanted to shout out to them. Yeah, and you know, I think they're trying the same. They're mining the same vein as we are. You know, good, strong honest talk about sexuality. You know, and there's a lot of us out there, Chris.
Absolutely. And that's the thing. It's like, it's so fun to do this, and it is kind of a big kind of growing thing. So, yeah, absolutely. Shout out to them and a big appreciation.
Chris?
And a big appreciation.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I lost you there. Yeah. There, you know, and I guess I can't say that we've listened to every other podcast out there. You do another podcast as well, don't you, or did?
I do one with Dr. Amy Marsh called Love's Outer Limits. And
Love's Outer Limits.
If you go to my Twitter feed, you can see that I post about that show as well as ours. Cool. And for my Twitter feed, by the way, is M. Christian Zobop. So if anybody doesn't know that already.
That's good to know. And we have the Licking on Vanilla Twitter feed, so you can find us in all those places. And, you know, we're just doing we're doing a little business right now, right? We're just cleaning up a little business.
All the paperwork.
And that's okay. It's good to keep that going. I just think that there's a lot out there that people can choose from.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope that our listeners know, and we have a global listenership now, and I don't know if that's an anomaly or that's, and I don't want to be so conceited to think it is. I think that because podcasts are global, that you're probably picking up a lot of global listeners.
Mm-hmm.
But we have quite a strong global reach, especially.
I think it's so cool.
Yeah, it is pretty neat, right? Yeah, and
Yeah.
I think we had a real big bump in Ireland recently, which I thought was interesting because we're American based, but and
Mm-hmm.
I keep putting this out there to our Ireland friends and fans. I mean, if you're out there and you're listening, we'd love to hear from you. We'd love to hear from anybody, really. You could get in touch with us any multitude of
send
ways.
us an email, reach out to us. And
Absolutely.
You can find us on all kinds of different places. So
Yeah,
absolutely.
Go right to the Licking Non-Vanilla page, the website. You can find us there too. And but I guess what I'm trying to say is there's a lot to hear and a lot to listen to, and a lot to get in, just get inundated with. And so we appreciate the listeners, and we appreciate people logging on and listening to us just spew.
Absolutely. And like I said, anybody has any questions, anybody wants to appear on the show, just definitely send us a message. You can reach us all over the place. I mean, there's the blog, there's the Twitter feed. I think we're on Facebook. I'm pretty sure we're on Facebook.
Oh, we're on Facebook. I know that. Yeah, the show goes off on Red Circle. That's we're on Google. We're on Red Circle. We're on all those different podcast platforms. I just wanted people to know that we know you're out there, and we hear you listening, and we imagine you out there, and we love seeing the numbers increase. And we know you have a lot of choices, and some of these choices we can speak for, like and some we can't. Exactly. And we have and we connect you to all these good performers and people we like, and also connect you to what Chris and I are into. Chris and I are writing all the time for various places, and we're just trying to keep it going, in this very trying time.
Exactly. It was like we're doing like the rest of us. We're trying to, keep ourselves going and entertain people and have a good time at the same time.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think we've Greta was just so much fun, Chris. I think I'm kind of like floating it talked out with what we did with her. So maybe we'll make it a little shorter one today, if you don't mind. Do you mind? Or do you have anything pressing on your jock? Is there anything specifically bothering you?
No. I mean, it's like I just think sometimes it's like exactly. It's like that's the one thing. It's like we just do what you can do and take it easy. Because it is a crazy time right now. So if you need to take a break, if you need to slow things down, or just make the show a little shorter, more power to you.
Yeah, and one of the ways to really turn your mind off and have a good time is to look up some cam girls. So look up Greta Grindhouse, and those ladies are out there. Men and ladies are out there to service you and make you feel good about life and give you a little communication.
Absolutely.
And we'll, like I said, I'll drop her information out to everybody too.
Cool. Absolutely, for sure.
So Chris, as always, it's been the icing on the cake. Not even the cake. It's been the icing with the cherry. When's the last time you can say anything that has to do with a cherry, Chris? When's the last time you can say that?
That's it. Exactly. We're all about the cherries, particularly of the fruit.
That's right.
Anything fruity.
That's right. Anything fruity.
We're there.
Anything fruity.
Exactly.
All right. Well, we thank you very much for licking, whatever you want to do. We thank you for listening to Licking Non-Vanilla. And
it's always a delight, Ralph.
Yes, it is. We're just all that, Chris. It's tough being us. It really is. And I'm going to say goodbye from my end of the continent here in the East Coast, in the wilds of New Jersey's suburbia. And as always, Chris, thank you very much. And that over there is
Chris, otherwise known as M. Christian from Eugene, Oregon.
That's a nice place. And we thank you for listening. Chris, we'll see you. I won't see you, unfortunately, but I'll talk to you very soon. And we'll talk to you soon, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Take care.
And visit us on the web at www.lickingnonvanilla.com.